Hey, what's up everybody? This is your favorite homeboy, and today we're in Ashburn, Virginia, and we're going to do a walkthrough of this townhouse behind me here in Ashburn that we've been managing for several years. Now, Peter's with me, he's my property manager and my slash video cameraman today, or just for the intro, and then I'll get him when we're walking through the house. A lot of people think that property management is pretty simple, you're just collecting a check, but actually there are some really tricky parts. One of the trickiest parts is determining what to deduct from the tenant security deposit at the end of the lease, and what make-ready recommendations you want to make to get the house ready for the next guest. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be walking through the house, and usually we take lots of photos right before the tenant moves in and tons of photos when they move out. And then Peter, our property manager, he's going to compare the photos and make those recommendations to the owner. So today, what we're doing is we're going to QC that process. We normally don't drop by every home, but we're going to QC the process on this home, and we're going to accomplish two things. One, we're going to double check to make sure that the recommendations that Peter made were accurate. They accurately reflect what's in the house, and if there's any more recommendations we have to make because they were missed, we'll add that to the recommendation we send to the owner as well. So let's get started. We're going to walk by room, and don't forget to like this video if you love property management and you learn anything, get anything of value from this video. All right, let's get started. All right, Peter.
What's going on?
Welcome to my channel.
Hey.
All right, so we're in the foyer, right?
Yeah.
And why don't you start by giving me any make-ready recommendation you made on the list, and then if there was anything you see here that didn't make the list that you think should be on the list, or if you feel like the recommendation that you made on the list maybe shouldn't be on here after seeing it in real life. So the goal of today's video is really to see how accurate what is our picture comparing process with our walkthrough technicians versus you being here physically at the house. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
All right, so take it away.
So here in the foyer, something that I noticed via the pictures were the holes in the wall.
Okay.
There's a screw here as well.
All right.
A lot of scuffs, probably from moving in and moving out.
Okay.
A lot going on. There's even some photos of the door here.
Okay.
A little bit very dirty.
Okay. And what was the recommendation?
Recommendation, touch-up paint, especially to the entry, any patching of the holes, removing of the screw. There's another screw actually right there as well.
Okay, so just some touch-up painting, removing the big screws.
Exactly,
Yeah.
little things. There was this little nick here, probably from moving in as well.
Okay.
Or moving out.
Okay. Now, do you remember the last time this place has been painted?
I do not know.
Okay.
It's probably quite a while ago.
Because how long were these tenants here? About
I think only about 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Because if they were, let's move over to the living room. If they were here for, 3 to 5 years, we haven't painted it in 3 to 5 years. Typically, we would do these at the owner's expense. So were these at the tenant's expense or the owner's expense?
No, everything here was at the owner's expense.
Okay.
Much of which is also because a lot of it was here prior.
Oh, okay, it was all pre-existing,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
this is normally what we don't allow. We only allow like the size of a nail, not a screw. So something like this, if it was pre-existing, then of course the owner would be responsible. But if it was something a tenant did, then we would just have them, patch and paint.
Yeah.
All right, how about the living room, dining room?
Living room, dining room, very similar. A lot of the same. There were
Just really small wall nicks and nothing too big.
Blue paint here. Some of the baseboards there. The windowsill.
Yeah, it looks like an animal kind of.
Yeah, potentially.
See, there's the little nicks there.
A cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, a little baseboard work.
Not a lot.
Not
Okay.
a lot. Same thing with the walls. There's some scuffs and there's.
Let's see if I can get this on the
Probably some
camera.
cleanup
It's kind of hard to get. There, I see. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, nothing too major in here.
So what were the recommendations for the living dining to get it ready? Just
Same thing.
touch up,
Same thing. A lot of touch up. Like you see the column. The
Okay.
column needs to be touched up.
and also at the owner expense?
Owner
on this one?
expense. Yeah,
Okay.
owner expense. The
Oh yeah, this is a white column. It's hard to see in the camera, but it's got a little bit of scuffs on it. Definitely you would not charge the tenant for this. This is definitely normal wear and tear. And if it was pre-existing, all the more reason why you would not. So, okay, good call. Good call on that. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Our process is good so far.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. And why don't we do this half bath that's over here?
Oh, Jesus. Right.
And even if the process isn't perfect, it's okay because when the tenant moves in, sometimes you make adjustments. So
Yeah.
property management is not a perfect process. It's really to get 95% of everything.
So half bath again. I saw another screw
Okay.
in the photos, and then
Alright.
these two holes. I don't know what these were prior, but those were also
Were they pre-existing?
They were,
Okay.
yes.
And do we have to paint to match, or are we just going to leave
That's
it and
the
leave it as
correct-
is?
I recommended to have it repaired or repainted. But,
Okay.
But yes, the good question is, do we have that paint?
Yeah, and if not, it could be something as is, because when the tenants sign the lease, we do tell, hey, the place is as is. Cosmetically, it's not gonna be perfect.
No.
As long as it's clean and healthy, safe, that type of thing. Okay, so far so good.
Yeah.
We haven't even done the work on this house, and it looks ready for move-in, other than this faint odor that I smell. I'm not crazy about that. I'd like to try to get rid of that somehow. All right, breakfast area, dining area, kitchen.
A whole bunch of stuff.
Where do you want to start first?
I guess we can start with the kitchen.
All right.
I'm staring at it. I don't remember. I mean, I always.
Oh, that might be a light switch. There's 2 switches on this thing, so try one of these. Oh! Oh, 50-50.
Well, these are actually missing bulbs.
Oh, they're actually completely missing.
There's 2.
Okay. So do you remember if that was on the list?
I don't remember being on the list, but anytime I see any bulbs out or missing, I always put to replace any missing.
Yeah. And a good catch-all is we have a handyman checklist, which we did a video on a couple videos back, and I'll link it up here in the corner.
Yeah.
But this is a standard item on the list, so it's not like Peter has to catch every single bulb. It's on the list for the handyman as he's walking through the house, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I don't think there was much in here. I did see another screw to be removed. The screws. Some of the doors a little dirty, so I recommended.
Okay. I mean, it's really slight.
Yeah, nothing terrible.
Yeah.
Inside the appliances were good that I noticed with the photos. I think there was some stuff like on the cabinets, so I recommended that the cleaners come back that they used because there's something there.
Yeah. Let me see what this is. Yeah, it's something that.
Initially, I thought maybe it was paint, but now it doesn't.
Yeah, I can scratch it off with my fingernail.
It looks like it's
So now I have some sort of foreign substance now inside my fingernail. I might get
even
like
the sink was still kind of dirty.
COVID or something.
Not that great.
Okay, so they could probably do a better job here with the cleaning. That's good. We want to hold them to a high standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. What else?
So coming here, I know it's probably hard to see. Joey did point out there was some holes in the screens, so I did recommend. Actually, there's one right there. There's Joey did recommend having
Like patching it?
Yeah, having the screens repaired.
Yeah, so it's really minor, but yeah, by patching it, at least they can use it in like the fall time, springtime if they really want to. I wouldn't recommend it because of allergies and pollen and all that, but some people like to use it. I actually open my windows every now and then. So okay, those small patches, that's real simple.
Yeah,
and that's a tenant expense or owner expense?
Owner expense.
Okay, because that's like wear and tear. It's not like they're gouging it with a knife or a pin or anything like that. Okay.
More little nicks on the walls and another little nail here, but nothing too major. Probably some touch up. Again, though, do we have to paint?
Okay. Okay.
Some little things here. Same with this wall. There's something here, but I think these were also pre-existing, so I'll probably just leave those.
Okay. I mean, in general, it's not a big deal. It's just a little nail here that's just cosmetic, and in a couple of years we're gonna repaint the house anyways when it gets really bad.
Sure.
So the fact that they lived there for 3 years, this is not too bad.
No. Okay. And then again, more nails or more screws. I don't know what these guys are for.
Okay.
I did recommend potentially filling some of these holes here. I don't know what. Probably a blind was here in the past.
Okay. And that was pre-existing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all this is really minor. Let's go outside last. How about we head upstairs? So far, everything on the main level is an owner expense and just pretty much touch up.
Yeah.
Okay, real simple. Some light bulbs, and of course part of the handyman checklist is make sure all the appliances are working properly. All right, so we'll go upstairs now. Anything on the staircase here?
Nothing on the staircase. Again, just walls. I see some stuff coming up here. And then there's also some hooks and nails.
Ooh, pre-existing or not?
I could not find a photo with these there, so it didn't seem like these are pre-existing.
Okay, but I mean, it's real small touch up. I don't know. How did you account for that? Are you going to charge them for it? Or?
I think I did make it a resident expense.
Okay.
To have it removed.
Yeah, so a lot of times what we'll do is we'll just say, hey, Mr. Handyman, prorate that wall, right? Break it out of the overall expense. And that's not going to be too much. That's just hourly rate plus materials. Okay, cool.
Otherwise, yeah, still a lot of small little holes and scuffs.
I gotta get
Too major.
like a holder for this phone. My hand's getting tired. Let me switch hands here, but you might see my fingers. There you go. Oh, that works. Okay. My right hand's gonna get a lot more muscular than my left arm. All right, so we're in the master bedroom here. Okay, as you can tell, it's got the nice double doors.
These walls actually look, there's some touch up that can be done, some touch up down here. But these walls actually looked Actually look pretty good.
Yeah, in general, they're fine.
Yeah.
But just whatever touch up the handyman uses his judgment call on. What else?
Repair of these. There's
All right.
2 of them that are off.
Looks
So
like you
those
just
repair.
usually there's like a set screw and then
Yeah.
you just tighten it down on there. All
So
right.
those will be easy. There's really nothing much in here. Yeah, that I can remember.
Okay.
Bathroom was a little bit. I don't know.
It's blue. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's fine. It's as is. I mean, we have a tenant coming in, so it's not like we have time to really make some of these changes. And if this is cosmetic, we'll just leave it, right?
Yeah, they didn't say anything about
Okay.
it. So.
Tell me about the mirror.
So I did notice that the mirror was off, and then I also noticed there was already an existing work order in place.
So this is something. How are we going to charge on this?
So this would be, they would get charged to repair it. As far as I know, as of right now, they'd get
Typical repair deductible, like they would normally. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe probably just didn't do it because it was so close to their move out or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Shower, the caulking, if you want to take a look in there, is pretty grimy.
That is kind of nasty, and it is a tenant's responsibility to make sure that mildew and free of mildew and all that. So we'll probably strip that out, recaulk it at their expense.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I did notice this here, this little crack, so I made the handyman just at least want to take a see if you can.
Yeah, again, cosmetic, selling, or it's drywall tape.
Yeah, nothing too bad. Again, like the walls got something.
Yeah, it's like humidity, that's
Yeah,
my walls like that too. Maybe they can wipe that down.
Exactly. So some cleaning, maybe just remove this now.
Okay. And then we got this half bath. Anything here?
I don't think so. I think the half bath is fine. I think it's running though. It sounds like it was running earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you heard it running, right, and filling up. So if that's the case, that was probably not on the list, because if it wasn't running when Joey was in this room, then it would have been hard for him to catch that.
Yeah.
So that is kind of one of those tricky things to catch that. There it is.
It sounds bad.
And it's not a big deal, because even if we totally missed it, it's not like this would have been a tenant expense anyways. Just submit a work order, we'll get it fixed.
Exactly.
So probably a new flapper or something like that. All right, not bad. This is an easier house than I thought. I thought there's a lot more going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of rooms, but there's not much.
Doesn't make for an exciting video, like a lot of drama, like
Sorry.
graffiti on the walls.
I mean,
Oh, look at that.
that light fixture's not great. That definitely was not a photo.
That's ugly. Did you guys replace that?
This is the first time I'm seeing it.
Okay, so this is something that was missed on the, was it on the photo? Do you remember if it was photoed?
No, it definitely wasn't photoed.
Okay, so it wasn't photoed. So this is something that we got, basically, as you can tell by the camera, it's a really old light and it's flaking and stuff like that. It's not gonna take a lot of time to just buy a cheapo $15 light and replace it. And so that's something we'll have to tell our walkthrough technician, hey, in the future, this is not our standard. Take a picture of that, make a recommendation to replace it, and we can do that. So cool. Sometimes these walkthroughs are good, right? It's like a QCR process and it makes us better. You could tell we make a lot of judgment calls when we do this. So, okay, go ahead, Peter. Sorry about that.
Some more scuffs.
All right, some scuffs here.
This wall here was very touch up there.
Yeah, I'd say all this normal wear and tear, right?
Got, another screw.
Okay.
Screws were about.
And sometimes you could just leave these alone and let the next person hang stuff on it. You know what I mean?
Again, in this bathroom, the tub, again, if you want to take a look at the caulking.
Okay, yeah, same deal with the caulking. This is a real typical thing that we usually just say, hey, tenants, you should have taken care of this, cleaned it up. We'll just strip it out and replace it at your expense. And there's some like little hooks and stuff like that. I'd probably rip those off.
Exactly.
Do you know if those made the list?
Those, I know the one did. I don't think the other one did. Though.
Okay.
I don't remember that black piece.
All right. Anything else here? Anything else good?
Else here.
Yeah, condition's generally good. This has been professionally cleaned too, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, you got your washer and dryer. Nothing in here. Everything was fine.
Washer, dryer. We got
These racks
that comes with the dryer normally. That rag, the cleaner should have tossed. That is like a TV mount.
Oh, maybe TV mount.
Do you know if that made the list?
No, it didn't.
Okay, so he probably took a photo of that. We just have to be more mindful about having personal items removed. Now again, that's another thing on the handyman checklist. So on the handyman checklist, it's a catch-all item, remove personal items. So even if you didn't catch it, the backup is it's on the list. So it's not a big deal. Would have got removed.
In here, this room, again, paint is going to be potentially an issue, but there was definitely a lot of marks on the walls.
Yeah. Which is tenant expense?
only because I did it as an owner expense because it does seem like wear and tear. It's not like there's a hole or a gash that would require
Yeah,
a lot of work.
that's true.
It's really just touch-up paint.
That's true. Yeah.
Closet is good as far as I remember.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I was confused about was this, because there seems to be a stain here.
That is like a big old indentation, like a stain or something.
And which wasn't noted on the report. But there's definitely a stain here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your recommendation here?
So, see if we can get the cleaners back again and see what else they can do. But it seems like if it was already professionally cleaned, because it seems like it's not going to come
Kind
out.
of going back to that smell that I'm smelling, I would double check, did they use carpet cleaners that were professional carpet cleaners that were on our recommendation list? And if they didn't, that needs to be done at their expense. If they did, we can ask them if they hit this up. And if they didn't hit this up, it's tough to say if we would charge the tenant for this because this carpet is beyond the depreciable life. So I would say no.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the carpet cleaners did not come through here. And I'm guessing, I'm 80% sure they did not. Just based off the condition of this carpet. Usually when professional carpet cleaners come here, they rake it. And you can visibly see that they've been here. This just like has the vacuum marks, not the rake marks.
Yeah.
And when you do, if you could make a note, Peter, have them do like odor, like some sort of odor treatment, enzyme treatment, because it needs it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're checking behind the door. What were you checking for?
Yeah, there was some hooks that were in the wall.
Okay.
That need to be probably removed because these were definitely not there prior.
Yeah. Now this is probably, I'd say, nail size hole. So I'd say, owner expense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a molly bolt or anything.
Exactly.
And sometimes, you're also checking for these
Door stoppers.
door stoppers. But again, that's on the handyman. Is it on the handyman checklist?
I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was.
Another thing on the handyman checklist, or we have a kind of a knob hardware checklist, is make sure these doors have privacy locks. Sometimes they have keyed locks, which is not good. So, okay, cool. Good job. Let's go on to the next one.
Last bedroom here.
This is the tan room.
Yeah. Again, yeah, so this room, not much. Some more scuffs on the walls.
Yep.
Touch-up painting.
Generally not
Maybe
bad,
remove a
these
hook
walls.
here.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, this.
If they generally took care of this, we're not going to nickel and dime it for everything. I think the only wall so far was just that stairway hall, right?
Yeah.
Everything else is an owner
I don't know
expense.
if that's a mark on the ceiling. I noticed that mark. It was weird.
That might have been like a light water damage from
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
something,
too.
but that's something we can monitor.
Yeah.
They never reported anything,
No,
so it might have been some crazy wind
Yeah.
and rain event. Now that has some sort of tear.
Yeah, I don't know what that piece of paper is.
It looks like they were covering it up or something. That probably could just be ripped off.
Exactly, that just needs to come off.
Yeah.
Which is what I recommended.
Okay, that was on your list.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, otherwise,
All right.
here. Otherwise, this room was good.
All right, let's head downstairs. Okay, we're downstairs here at the second stairwell. What you got, Peter?
Yeah, very similar to the stairwell going upstairs. Just maybe some touch-up paint. There's another screw up here. Otherwise, these walls are actually pretty good. I
Okay.
think maybe some of the molding on the bottom can be touched up, but otherwise,
Yeah, usually these columns, people
the columns
grab
get a
them.
lot of they get banged
Yeah.
up, especially on the corners.
So freshening these up might be cool.
Yeah.
It's like all these columns, all those people are always putting their hands around it. What were your instructions on this? Did you leave it kind of general, like touch up paint, or did you just the whole house, or did you say hit up the columns
I was
specifically?
very specific, touch up, columns leading down to the stairwell, like
Okay.
the dining room columns, or
Right.
certain areas. Of
And if the
walls.
columns have like a very distinguishable termination point, like they terminate here and they terminate here, what I would be very specific about with these handyman, because sometimes you have to be more specific, is to say paint the entire column.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So if you could make that revision, say paint the entire column, because touch up for them might just be, and then it'll be spotty. And it's just two columns, and there's an easy termination point at the end. There's a starting and ending point, so just paint the whole thing.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Yeah, another nail here.
All right.
But nothing much with these walls. Look at this back.
Yeah, we do that same rule with walls. If there's a really easy termination point on one wall, it doesn't blend into this 20-foot ceiling, then I'd say just paint the whole wall. None of them really seem to be needing a whole paint, more just touch up.
Yeah.
Now, our rule of thumb though is normally we don't touch up, we paint the whole wall because it's very hard to match. It starts getting really blotchy.
Exactly.
So if it starts looking blotchy, I think that's something, since we have a new handyman, we had to say, hey, look, if it's starting to look blotchy as it starts drying, hit up the whole wall, right?
Bathroom wasn't too bad. I think the only thing that I noticed was the sink stopper. It was just kind of pulled out and left here.
All right, so that this needs to be repaired. Cool.
This bathroom's good.
And we got this basement kind of game room, rec area.
Touch-ups in here as well on the walls. I think the ceiling, it's hard to see it.
Oh yeah.
There was something here.
Was it pre-existing?
It was not that I could see, no.
Really?
Yeah.
Then
it looks like potentially there was some sort of leak.
what was the recommendation there?
I did recommend to repaint the whole ceiling.
Okay.
Because it looks like it was touched up really poorly.
Did you check with Teal to see if we handled
I
that?
have to check that.
Yeah, let's check with her, because now it'd be good if we handled it and we just didn't touch it up. But if we didn't handle it, then we have to ask the tenant, hey, what happened here?
Exactly.
Most likely it was maybe a leak that we dealt with.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they didn't use flat paint, because you could see a sheen to it.
Exactly.
So I would say maybe look into that. Yeah. That's a good one.
And there's over here, there was also this photo. I don't know if it was like a leak or some sort of, again, it looked like maybe it was some sort of, it was painted again. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, it just looks like it was a bad paint job.
Yeah, I agree. So I recommended, to repaint this.
Okay.
Again, have the cleaners come back. I don't know what happened in the corner here with this black duck is.
Yeah, they didn't do a great job
that
here.
needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah. Looks like there's a blue tape
Yeah, it
here.
looks like he did that, but he never sent me a photo of that.
Okay. Let's see if that was pre-existing or not.
Exactly.
Because if the tenant dropped something on there, now there doesn't look like there's a drop mark.
No.
Could be like settling.
Yeah, because this isn't even really
And
lined up very well.
and it's granite, so it'd be hard to know how to repair that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would recommend repairing if it was pre-existing, but if the tenant did it, that's a difficult one to know. Like, how are you going to charge a tenant? You're going to just replace the whole thing.
Exactly.
Now, I probably would. I mean, if the tenant messed this up, and then we would have to replace the whole thing at their expense. Either that, or just, I don't know if you can buff that out and fill it, but probably just not going to look the same. Okay.
Yeah, so ceiling in the basement was a concern. That area there is that I showed you were a concern. Otherwise, a lot of just scuffs and marks on the walls.
Okay.
Nothing else that I can recall was an issue. Looks like the floors, there's just some tape there.
Yeah.
But the floors look good. Yeah.
Should we do outside now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go out to the backyard here. There's really just this and the deck, right? No.
Yes.
And was there anything in the front yard? Oh, that wind's picking up. Wind is here. Wow. All right, we got some soil left over here. Let me just get out.
Yeah, removal of, I did put landscaping, really for just kind of a cleanup, especially of like all the leaves and the weeds.
Yeah. Do you know if it was like this when they left, or do you think it's like this like between the time they left and now? Because you know what I mean.
The leaves are tough, yeah.
So it might be an owner expense just to kind of maintain it.
Yeah.
Maybe right before the new tenants get here. So it's nice and neat.
This area in general wasn't great to begin with, but
yeah, like was this kind of like lacking grass?
it was already like.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you can't really charge them for that. And I don't think I would do anything. I would just kind of, hey, this is as is. Just leave it like this or better when you move out, right?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. The fence looks decent.
Does look good.
Nothing's sagging or leaning. A lot of leaves. What about the gutters?
You know what? Joey didn't mention anything about the gutters. But
You know-
there definitely could be leaves in them.
I would say let's add that to the list for the handyman to check the gutters. We like to do that between tenants, and especially it's been several years. This is something like I would say is an owner expense, just something to do between tenants. Yeah, I would definitely check that with these leaves kind of falling up on there like that. And we just bought a 27-foot ladder, so we can handle it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good out here.
And we'll go out to the front yard and the deck. Is there anything there? Do you remember?
Front yard again, just a little bit of landscaping. A lot of dead weeds. Deck, I don't believe so. I think everything.
Okay, we'll check it out. What about this? Kind of like this this back area. It's kind of dirty here. There's some spider webs here. You can kind of see a big old web here. You can't see it on the camera, but
a lot of times I like to recommend, even for the patio, is
a lot of things
some sort of like power washing, which I typically will put to do in the spring.
Yeah. You know, in the winter, it is one of those things where like sometimes you can recommend it, sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
This being December, it's kind of iffy.
Yeah.
You know.
I usually put a note to have done in the spring. It's just then coming back again and remember to have it done. Because it's definitely a little dirty and all the webs. Yeah.
Okay. We could hold off on the power washing, just being December. We may need to come up with something in our company like after this month, no power washing. Because I mean, the weather can flip to freezing, and then it's kind of hard to do the power washing thing.
Exactly.
So okay, let's go out to the front and the deck. All right, Peter, we're outside.
Yeah. So here we are on the front.
Give me the scoop.
So landscaping up here in the front, as you can tell, it's just dead.
It looks a little raggedy.
Yeah. So I recommended to have this cleaned up, have it removed.
Yeah. So.
You know, it's hit or miss. When they first moved in,
How was it?
It didn't look great, but it didn't look like this.
Did it have weeds or anything like that?
No, it didn't.
No, are those weeds or bushes though?
That's a good question.
That might be like a bush that's winterized. It might be a combination of both.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but everything looks dead.
Okay, it's really tough in the wintertime.
It is.
And our handymen aren't like landscapers, so they don't know. But I would say this thing here, this big thing, is a bush, but then there's things in between it. Like these things are definitely weeds. That's definitely a weed. That, I don't know. See, this one is not a weed, I don't think. This is definitely a weed, you know what I mean? Do you know if those were there beforehand?
No, it was
it hard to tell?
It was mostly like a lot of this.
That's probably a weed.
It looked like just like dead plants with no weeds. Now it looks like dead plants with weeds.
What I would recommend...
I recommended cleaning this up.
Just cleaning it up somehow. But when you say that, and you give them carte blanche, they're probably gonna rip it up.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad just to rip it up and just leave all mulch. Keep it real clean.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Even there's a piece of brick that's missed here, and there's another piece of brick missing there.
Let me put you on pause for a second. Okay.
And then same this way.
Yeah.
Just some cleanup.
Yeah.
Here, there are some weeds coming along here.
Yeah, I think the kind of like the answer, 99% answer is clean it up, add some mulch, boom, we're done.
Exactly.
And don't just throw the mulch on top. Make sure they weed it.
Yeah. Joey did take some good photos.
All right.
You can see there's like a hole here in the brick.
Yeah.
So I did have recommended to have these kind of.
Yeah, otherwise like vermin can get in there, right?
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's like a storage unit underneath here. Let me see on this side.
I don't think so.
No? Maybe it's not this house. Maybe it's another house I remember. No? Okay. Maybe it's inside. Okay. Anything else out here?
No, just some general cleanup in the garage as well.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Now,
just
I don't know if you noticed, but that garage is sagging.
Yes. I did put
You did notice that?
No, yeah, I did make a note to have them check the garage door because it's bowing in the middle here.
Okay. It now opened and closed just fine, didn't it?
It did.
Do you remember who was like that before?
It didn't seem that way before.
Okay, that's something we definitely need to check.
Yeah.
Because who did you make a recommendation for to pay for that?
I have it on the owner's end currently. To have them check it.
Okay, because if I would put it on the tenant's end if it wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
Because that's something we clearly have a picture of in the beginning, so we should be able to tell.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And let's go to the deck. Okay, lastly, we're on the deck.
Yeah, so
Anything here?
On the deck, not much. Just kind of clean up, remove the planter.
Okay, personal items. Just sweep that out.
I don't know what that bar is there.
Okay, probably get rid of that piece of wood there.
I did also recommend that we replace this with a...
That's right. We need the right lock on there,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I wanted to replace that. Otherwise, that was about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Lastly, we noticed this was rusty, and if that's not on the list, let's make sure that's on the list too. Hey, Peter. Overall, how would you say the process works with comparing the photos versus being in person?
Definitely easier to be in person to see the photos, but definitely not much missed.
Yeah.
which is good because
Yeah.
I was afraid I was missing
Yeah.
recommendation items. But
Right.
it's good to see I'm not missing much.
Right. I mean, the only thing we may have missed was what?
You know, the toilet upstairs.
Okay.
Trying to think about some other items. You know, the maybe full painting of items rather than just touch-up areas.
Okay.
I think that's helpful, especially.
Yeah.
And then even the smell of the home.
Yeah.
We definitely wouldn't have gotten the smell.
Right. He didn't mention anything about the smell,
Nah,
so that's
he
something we
didn't.
want to mention to him
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Which maybe at the time he didn't get it. But
Right. Right.
definitely
And so
the
these are
smell.
all great feedback for just a feedback loop created for our process. We can go back to the walkthrough text, say, hey, here's some things that could have helped me.
Yeah.
But overall, it was good. And things that we did miss, it's not going to be like big deal killers, things that are going to destroy the process or, you know, make the tenant super angry. It's not any things that we would have charged. If anything, they would have been things we would have charged them for that we didn't.
Yeah.
But none of those things you mentioned were.
Exactly.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of this townhouse. It is a fairly simple walkthrough, but one thing you'll notice, there's a lot of judgment calls that are being made. So if you're currently managing your own home and you don't want to go through the hassle of figuring out what to deduct for, what not to deduct for, what to get ready for the next person, what we can leave as is, let us do the work for you. We do manage homes, townhomes, condos here in Ashburn. We're also in Fairfax, Loudoun, Prince William County, and all of Northern Virginia. So we're Mars Hill Realty. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you got any value, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. This is your favorite homeboy signing out.